Turns out U.S. trade negotiators will travel to Shanghai next week for another round of talks. Eunice Yoon is there now, and she joins us with a look at the trade war fallout. And Eunice, it's good to see you.
It's great to see you, too, Becky. You know, American farmers have been hurt by the trade war. And yesterday I got a chance to talk to somebody who works on the front line. He's the international director of the Northwest cherry growers, and he's here on a multi-day marketing blitz to try to get more Chinese to buy American cherries despite the tensions.
This box right here,
yeah,
is an ideal quality for the Chinese consumer.
Despite the trade war, Seattle native Keith Hu is making his best pitch for American cherries.
China is still very important to the farmer, the Northwest cherry growers.
this is the second largest wholesale fruit market in China. And every year, Keith Hu comes to Shanghai to talk to importers to get a sense of what the appetite is in China for U.S. cherries.
China is a critical market for the cherry growers, making up more than a third of total exports. So they feared the worst when Beijing raised retaliatory tariffs to 50% last year on their cherries, forcing prices for consumers up on average 60%. Overall volumes plunged by 40% from before the trade war. But the farmers are still making money. So far, Chinese importers like George Liu have been willing to eat the extra cost.
So because of the tariff, the U.S. cherry right now in the market needs to be selling at a higher price. So in the end, it will reduce the demand a little bit. But Chinese people, they're willing to pay for premium product.
To keep people here buying, Hu is tapping into the Chinese desire to live a healthier lifestyle. But he's still losing sleep over what might happen if the trade war continues. There's new competition from cheaper cherries from Turkey and Uzbekistan.
Besides cherries, a lot of berries, other fruits coming from other countries. These are our competitions. I mean, we are fighting an uphill battle. So with a tariff, it just made our challenge even bigger.
And there is a bit of good news. The trade talks are expected to resume here in Shanghai next week. And Hu told me that any signs of progress that trade tensions could be eased would be welcomed by the cherry growers. Guys?
Eunice, it sounds like at this point, both sides are kind of playing nice heading into these new trade talks.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, at this point, it's hard to say how much progress has been made and what is really going to be discussed. But at the same time, they look as though they are going to meet. From what we know from the U.S. side, the U.S. delegation is supposed to be led by Trade Representative Robert Lighthizer. They're going to be here and meeting from the Chinese side, not only the Vice Premier Liu He, but also a new addition, which has been getting a lot of attention, the Chinese Commerce Minister. So there are some analysts who believe that that could potentially a good thing. That means that Beijing is more serious about these discussions because so far up till now, it's been the Vice Commerce Minister. But then there are those skeptics out there who are worried because Zhongshan, the Minister of Commerce, is known to be a bit of a hardliner. So they don't know people don't know whether or not that means Beijing is just really wants to have a hawk at the negotiating table as well, because they plan to dig in these discussions.
Lighthizer is known as being the more hawkish one, but Treasury Secretary Stephen Mnuchin also will be going to those talks, and we'll be meeting with him a little later this morning, talking to him right here on Squawk Box to see what he is anticipating ahead of that. Eunice, thank you very much.